Okay, so today's video, I'm going to show you the phone script funnel that we use for people when they call into our martial arts school. And often we use this really for any conversation with a prospect who might become a martial arts student. Okay, now whether you run a martial arts school, run a different business, you can really adapt this for any business where people call in and the goal is to set up an appointment for something. Okay, so you'd have to adapt some of the language, but the general guidelines of like how the conversation should flow and like what should be said, not like the exact steps, but the general guideline of what should be said to create someone to actually take an action where they actually create an appointment and to make the phone call go quickly and not go off track. Those are going to be universal. So I'm going to show you that today in the phone script, and you're going to be able to use this for your martial arts school or any other business that you have, and you can literally just have it. Okay, so here's how it's going to work. This is our martial arts phone script. By the way, we use this for all of our locations. We have over 25 locations, do 7 million in yearly revenue. So this has been tested and proven over the years and adjusted slightly over the years. Every figure out something new and better, we'll put it in here, but never giant adjustments. Always small things. So, all right, here's the martial arts phone script. Now, there's 4 goals of every phone call. Okay, the first one is to get on and off the phone as quickly as possible. Too often, what I see people do is they get on the phone and they become chatty. Okay, and they think becoming chatty and talking to the person is building rapport. Okay, but actually, it does the exact opposite. Right? Talk to anyone who is masters at sales, they'll tell you that there's often a point where there's too much information and you don't want to just be chatty with someone. You want to be professional. Okay. It doesn't mean you can't build rapport for 30 seconds, but you can't talk about 3, 5, 10 minutes about some other topic and you go off on a tangent. You think like, oh, we're connecting. No, it's actually working against you. Okay. Stay on course. All right. The only purpose of a call is to get them to figure out a time for them to come in and actually make an appointment. Of course, you want to collect their information, and if it's applicable, get them to pay for it over the phone if it's like a paid trial. Okay, we have a paid trial, which you'll see here, but you can also do this for a free trial as well. It'll be the same sort of idea. Okay, but don't just like chat on the phone and think it's just some chatty. I'm building rapport. You're really not. You're hurting yourself long run. All right. So anyway, those are the goals of the incoming call. This is for incoming call, but you could use this for outbound for someone who becomes a lead, or even if like you're at an event and you give away a flyer or you're wearing a shirt with your school's logo on it and someone comes up to you and asks you, hey, like, do you teach blah, blah, blah? Like, you could still use the majority of this phone script, and that's exactly what we would use. Okay, we just go down the phone script and it makes it easy. Some people are like, oh, I don't want to be scripted. Man, like, it's like saying like a chef, like, I don't want to use a recipe. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you use a recipe in the beginning and you perfect it. You can personalize a little bit, but for the most part, you stay true to the recipe because you want everyone to get the same experience. Okay. Imagine like one Chipotle being like, no, we're not going to make the chicken that way. No way. Like, you got to make chicken the same way. So everyone gets the same product. Someone can't decide, oh, I want to use way more pepper today, right? Or way more cilantro. Okay. So anyway, here's the phone script. Here's how it's going to work. So first, and I would practice this with a partner or a friend. So we have Y, which is you, and then C, the caller. So the person calls, and right away we're going to answer this question. We're going to say, we answer the phone, say your school name. So you might say like Red Dragon. Are you interested in classes for yourself or someone else? And then immediately you are in charge because you asked the first question. So the ball's in your court. I have the ball. I answer the phone. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to throw the ball to you. Okay, now it's for my son. Okay, great. Now someone might say, oh, well, what if they're not calling about martial arts classes, already a student? Then they're going to tell you. They're going to say, hey, it's Alex's mom. Oh, what's up, Alex's mom? How you doing? Good. Can you tell me what time class is tonight? Yada, yada. It doesn't matter. You're not hurting anything. It's not going to matter whatsoever. I got this from America's Best Eye Contacts and Sunglasses, and a couple other places. When you call them, they say, are you calling for contacts or eyeglasses? Right. So same idea. Are you interested in classes for yourself or someone else? It's for my son. Okay, great. So you got to find out now, who is this for? It might be a neighbor calling for someone. It might be a grandparent. It might be someone calling for themselves. You need to find out who they're actually calling for, so that way you can direct the conversation the right way. So let's say for this situation, it's like very simple. So it's for my son. Okay, great. How old's your son? He's 9. Okay, who referred you? And this is a really powerful question, because now you're indicating to the person that a lot of people refer your program. Okay, if the word of mouth is very big in your business, and a lot of people refer it, which means it's a high quality business, right? So you're setting the standards that you're a referral business. So who referred you to blah blah blah? So instead of saying were you referred, and they say no, you say who referred you, and if they didn't refer to someone, they'll just say, oh, I drove by or check out the website. If they did, then you'll know who referred you, right? Refer them, you can thank them later. So who referred you to school name, blah, blah, blah. Great. What's your son's name? His name is Johnny. Okay, great. Now, what is the number one reason you want to get Johnny involved in martial arts? Well, I want him to focus better, yada, 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 yada. Or they'll say, oh, I just thought it'd be really fun for him. Whatever they decide to say. All right, cool. Now, that's why many parents start their children at school names. Now you're validating, hey, a lot of other people come to us for the same exact reason. So you're coming to the right place. All right. Right now, we're doing I have here white belt challenge. Okay, that's what we call our trial. But depending on the season or holiday, we'll call it whatever season or holiday it is right now. Okay, but it's always the same. You don't change your trial constantly. Okay, it's very confusing. People get different things all the time. It should always be the same. Unless maybe one time a year you have a special offer during the holidays or something like that. But for the most part, you keep the offer the same. You just change the packaging. You change the gift wrap. Okay. So if it's summer, you call it a summer special, winter special, Labor Day special, Christmas special, National Hot Dog Day special. Doesn't matter. Okay. Whatever thing is going on then, that's what the special should be called. All right. Cool. It includes 3 lessons and a complete uniform. I would put your school name in here for only $49. Okay. So that's our trial. Once again, you can put your trial in here. It doesn't have to be ours. I have ours as an example, but you can do this with whatever trial you offer. So we do 3 lessons in uniform for $49. Okay. Now the first lesson Johnny's going to get is going to be private one-on-one with an instructor, so you can learn everything you need to know to get in class and feel comfortable. Plus, you'll also get a complete school uniform at his first lesson, so he immediately feels part of the team. The second lesson will be oh, sorry, this is actually an old one. Second lesson will be private too. My third lesson will be in group class. So yes, 3 lessons and a uniform for only $49. Okay, so that's how we set it up. We do 1 private lesson. They come in, they get their uniform, application, blah blah blah. Second lesson, they come in next time. We require both parents to be there. That's when they're on their belt, and we enroll them. Even though they get paid for 30 lessons, we always enroll them at the second lesson. Okay, when they're most excited, because that's when they earn their white belt. So homework to earn their white belt, and when they earn their white belt, they have to complete their homework, which is like a whole thing of memorizing a creed and making their bed and doing a chore around the house, things they have to actually do to earn. And the second lesson is where they earn their white belt and they actually enroll. So they have 3 lessons in a uniform for only $49. Since the first lesson is private, we schedule that around our instructor schedule and your schedule. All right. So sorry, I made a copy of our other one. It looks like I made a copy of the wrong document that I was editing. But anyway, so right here, since the first lesson is private, we schedule that on our schedule and your instructor's schedule, and you're going to pause slightly. So we're pretty booked for the next few weeks. However, we did reschedule. So now you're indicating, hey, we book up. Like, we have demand in our school, okay, or in our program. I don't care if you haven't had a lesson there in 6 months. You want to portray the idea that you're not just available whenever, because it's kind of like a restaurant that you can just walk into whenever you want. That maybe may not be as good, but a restaurant that you have to get a reservation for, then that's going to be a more premium restaurant. Okay, so this indicates high value, it indicates premium. Okay, and it's all very subtle, right? It's not you're not telling them you're premium. You're just saying, "Oh, we're pretty booked for the next few weeks. However, we did so on your schedule." Now you want to schedule them for as quickly as possible. Okay, if it's a Monday, I'm scheduling them for Tuesday or Thursday. Okay. If it's a Wednesday, I'm scheduling them for Thursday or Friday or Thursday and Saturday. You do not want to schedule things for weeks later. Okay. You want to be within 4 days max. The further you go out, the less likely the person is going to be to show up. Okay. I want people to say, oh, I'm going to be away next week on vacation, but I come the week after. And then, sometimes those people show up, but it's pretty rare. Or people that try to schedule weeks in advance, like, oh, I'm just like a planner. Those people don't show up. I'm telling you. So you want to schedule them for as quickly as possible, preferably the next day. And honestly, sometimes if it's early in the day, I'll say, oh, you know what? We actually had someone rescheduled for tonight at blah or blah time. Which one works better for you? And then be like, oh, I could do that. I could do 6. Okay. Now you'll notice I didn't say oh, did you want to set up an appointment? Oh, did you want to do the white belt challenge or the summer special? We just said we're assuming the sale, right? Someone doesn't call your business expecting not to buy something, right? Or expecting not to take action. When was the last time you called a pizza store and I was like, oh yeah, how much is your pizza? All right, bye. No, you just call, tell them what your order is. You're expecting to order from that place, right? So when you give someone an option, you don't say, do you want to do it? You say, do you want to do this day or this day? Do you want to do this time or this time? Okay, it's called assuming the sale. So which night is better for you? Tuesday or Thursday? And they'll tell you whatever. And then we have 4 or 6:30 p.m., which is better for you. And then you'll tell them the time. Okay. Now, we only get scheduled during enrollment or program director office times. They don't need to know that. But if for some reason they can't do during the office hours, try to schedule them after or before regular classes, but the soonest time available. I can't stress that enough. It can't be much later. So anyway, so if they can't do one of those times, obviously offer alternative. But when you offer an alternative, give 2 different options. This one or this one. Don't just say, when are you available? It's too open-ended, okay? Just give them the times that are available. Great. I can text you a link when you hang up to pay for it, or I can do it for you over the phone now. It only takes a minute. Which do you prefer? I prefer if they pay for it over the phone. People who pay for it over the phone, they pay for it, they're going to show up. People who don't pay for it, a lot of times, not a lot of times, some of the time, they're not going to show up, okay? And, I'd say maybe, I don't know, I don't have the exact stats, but probably 30%. To set up an appointment, maybe a little higher. And if they don't pay for it, they don't show up. Okay. When you don't pay attention. But if they pay for it over the phone, when they come in, they'll be ready to go. Okay. And they're not going to come in and be like, oh, wait, I have to pay for this. Oh, wait, how much is it? They're going to pay for it over the phone. This is a low cost trial. So it's $49. It's not a big deal. Okay. If they say, oh, I'll do it later, I'm driving, because some people, they can't take out their credit card or whatever. Say, okay, cool, I'll send you a link. Can you fill that out right away when you hang up to confirm your spot? I'll say, yeah, cool. Then we'll give them our link, all right, when we hang up. We collect their information, obviously. Okay, cool, we'll see you and Johnny on Tuesday at blah, 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 blah time. Do you know where we're located? And they'll say yes or no. It does not matter what they say. Regardless, you're going to tell them the address, okay? That's right. We're on blah, 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 right by the local landmark, okay? So, and then over here, okay, so yeah, you'll send them the link if they already have the link. If they say they want to do that later. If they don't want to do it later, you collect their information. So their name, email, card, cell phone number, okay? Whatever information you need for their appointment. All right, and that's it. All right, we'll see you then at Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. Have a great time. Have a great day. And that's it. There's no more answering questions. There's no more other questions. This whole thing should take 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes max. Okay, this is not a long conversation. Remember, if you're talking a lot and you're having this long, drawn out conversation, then you're actually hurting yourself. The whole thing should be very, very quick. Right? When you call to order a pizza, you don't want it to be 20 minutes. You want it to be fast, right? So they're calling because they're interested. They got the relevant information, know what the trial is, and you lead them to where they want to go. Okay, that's why they call. All right. Now, you can also do the same thing with a trial offer. We're offering a free class. What's the number one reason? Blah, blah, blah. Great. You do the same idea and you schedule a free class if that was your offer. All right. So even if your offer isn't what we have, it doesn't matter. Just plug and play your offer. You just want to use this as a framework for your phone script. Okay. Now here's some FAQs on call inquiries. So what if they say they want to do MMA or other style you aren't sure, the other style that you aren't sure about? Like maybe your school teaches Taekwondo or karate or judo, or whatever, and they ask about MMA or something like that, you want to use what's called the Socratic method, okay? And that means whenever someone asks a question, you ask them a question back so you understand why they're asking that question. Here's what I mean by that. If someone says, oh, do you guys do MMA? They might just be asking that. Well, you don't know the reason why they're asking that. They might be asking that because they love MMA and they watch it on TV all the time and they are dead set on doing MMA. Like they know that's something they want to do. They want to be competitive fighters. Or they're just asking because that's the only martial arts word they know, right? Because who knows what to ask a martial arts school when you call if you have no experience in it. And that's the only answer that's really the only question they could think to ask. Okay. So here, whenever someone asks a question, we ask them a question back. Is MMA something you're interested in? And then from there, they'll tell you why they asked that question. And when they tell you why they asked that question, then you can answer it properly. If they say, "Oh, that's set on being a competitor in MMA, and I want to, go to UFC," and your school doesn't do that, then okay, well, we're not going to be a good fit for you. Maybe try this school. Um, but if they're like, "Oh, I just heard it's good for self-defense," that's just the one I know. But oh, great, yeah, your child's going to learn self-defense here at our school with the style that we teach here. And I go, oh, okay, great. Okay. So once again, a lot of times people ask questions because they don't know what to ask a martial arts school. Okay. If I had to call a car repair shop and my car is making a funny noise, I don't know how to ask about, I don't know, a radiator or the transmission, right? I barely know what those words mean. Okay. I know it's a word. I don't really know what it means. Just like they know what MMA is, they may not know really what it means or how it's any different. Okay. So it's lingo for us that's common, not for them. All right. So whenever someone asks a question, do you do stretching? Okay. I bet, oh, is stretching something you're interested in? Yes. I want to make sure that my child is able to improve their flexibility. Like, oh, great. They're really going to be able to improve their flexibility here, blah, 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 martial arts school, working on high kicks and different blah, 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 blah. Okay. By the way, only if you actually do that. Like, never lie to someone if you don't actually do it. Right. But find out why they're asking. For instance, someone might ask, do you guys do fighting in your school? That's a good one. Okay. So you don't know what they're thinking. They might be thinking, man, I really want my child to learn how to fight. Or they might be thinking, my neighbors went to a martial arts school where they did fighting and their child got a black eye. I don't want that to happen to my child. Okay. So when you ask, is fighting something you're interested in? They're going to tell you why they're asking, and then you can answer the question. So they'll tell you, oh, my neighbor did blah, 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 blah. Oh, great, cool, yeah. So there's no fighting that's required in our martial arts school. And even when we do, they're covered in full gear, so they're protected. Like, oh, okay, great. Okay, or they might say, "Oh, I love fighting. I want to learn how to do it." Like, oh, great! He's going to learn. He's going to learn how to do sparring, which is kind of like simulated fighting, or blah 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 blah. Whatever the answer is for your school, but direct them. Don't lie. Don't make up something, right? That isn't true. Most of the time, people ask questions because they're just not sure what to ask. Okay, so that's the Socratic method. By the way, good for anything, not just setting up appointments, but people ask about anything. That's a great question. All right. So like if a parent asks or someone a prospect asks, do you have large classes? Like, okay, are large classes something you're interested in? And they might say, yeah, I love the energy of a large class. I want my child to work with different body types, people smaller and bigger. They just do better when they're in a big class. Or they might say, I hate big classes, yada, yada, yada. And then you can direct them the right way. Okay. So always ask a question from their questions. So you find out why they're asking and you'll be a better communicator. All right. Now, what if they want to check on the schedule and call back? So first of all, there's no chance they actually will. So once you hang up the phone, you lost your chance to impact that family in a positive way. People who call in clearly have an interest. We don't want to lose them because they're procrastination. Okay, so what we'll do is say, oh, that's fine. We book up very quickly this time of year. So I'm going to help you reserve a time slot for your family. That way you're in the calendar. And if for some reason that doesn't work later, or you talk to your husband or wife, it doesn't work, you can always reschedule. Okay. And they'll say, okay, great. And you'll say, okay, cool. We have Tuesday or Friday. Okay, just assume. So even right here, I would just say, like, it doesn't work. You can always reschedule. We have Tuesday or Friday. Which one did you want to do? Or which one works best for you? Which one's good for your schedule? Okay, so reserve a spot at least temporarily. And in their mind, they made an appointment regardless. They have something in there. Okay. What if they ask how much is your classes? Okay. Now, once again, this is like your philosophy, what you want to do with your school. For us, I feel like it's kind of like walking into a car dealership blindfolded. The salesman approaches you and they're like, "Hey, we have brand new cars that only cost $40,000." And you're like, "Wow, that's an expensive car. That's not a good deal." But when the car dealership or the salesman takes off the blindfold, you see a brand new state of the art luxury Bentley that usually costs $500,000. Your perception of the price of that car will change because you're able to see the value of the car, the leather seats, the advanced technology, 4-wheel drive. I don't know, like what comes in a Bentley that makes it expensive. Some nice stuff. All right. I'm not really a car person. So only when you understand the value of the product or the value of the service will your perception of the price become clear. Okay. 40 grand for a top of the line Bentley is a great price, but 40 grand for a 1992 Nissan Altima that has only 3 wheels is not going to be valuable. Okay. So when someone asks about pricing, we'll say when you come in for the first lesson, the instructor will go over all the options with your family and assist you in figuring out which works best for your family. Okay, and they'll say, "Oh, okay, cool," and you just like kind of push it off for later. All right. So you say when you come in, we'll go over all that. If they say when they ask about schedule, same thing. I don't want to sit there and tell them all the times. I just want to say when you come in for your first appointment, the instructor will go over all the different class times. We have classes Monday through Saturday. Lots of different times available. When you come in, the instructor will go over all those times, and you can pick a time that works best for your family. Okay, we have a flex schedule. All right. Now, if they keep pushing and they keep asking about the price, so wait, but can you tell me like how much it is? And they keep asking, they're not going to be like secretive and weird about it. Okay. I'd say we have a lot of different packages and options to choose from, so it really depends exactly what you're looking for. But you can say like, but on app, but I can give you a ballpark or I can give you an average. I'll say, yeah, cool. On between blah 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 a week. Okay, give like a range for your memberships. Here we have it listed as weekly. We charge bi-weekly every 2 weeks, but we just have it listed as weekly so they can kind of like better budget in their head. All right. Now, what if they want to come in before their first license? So some people will say like, yeah, this is cool, but like before I set up anything, I want to like check it out and check the place out first. And what you do is you only schedule by appointment. So we'd like to set up a time first because some children, when they watch their class, before they even take their own lesson, they get very intimidated or scared by watching the other kids because they aren't good enough or think they can't do what the other kids are doing. That's why we do the first lesson one-on-one so they can feel comfortable with all the basics before he or she gets on the mat. Like, oh, that makes sense. And by the way, like, yeah, that's like a nice line, but that's actually true. Like, students come in and they see the classes and like it happens all the time. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. That looks scary. Like, imagine a 5-year-old being like, they think they have to get out there and like all of a sudden kick, punch. They might be nervous about it. Like, that's why we do the lessons one-on-one in the beginning. But by the way, I've seen many successful martial arts schools who don't do any lessons one-on-one. They do right in class, and that's fine too. But if they want to come check it out, they still have to set up an appointment, and they can just come early to check it out. And if they decide afterwards they don't want to do it, that's okay. If they look at our program and think this sucks, and then our program sucks, and we should do better, and we should show the value of our program better, that way the people will want to do it. All right. Or you can always schedule free tour for them if you want to. Do we have to sign a contract? Okay, so sometimes parents will ask this because their neighbor got burned because they signed a contract for another martial arts school and they kept on having to pay even though they didn't go to the classes or whatever, and the neighbor got very upset about it or something. Okay, so we would say something like, "Is having a contract something you're interested in?" So some people might be like, upset about a contract. They don't want to do it. Some people are like, "Yeah, I want the price to be locked in because my cousin, they did martial arts in Virginia, and they kept on raising the prices on them." Okay, so you don't know why they're asking. You have to find out why. Okay, and then you'll be able to answer correctly. So the answer to this question is: we have different types of memberships. We have month-to-month, short-term. It all depends what your family is looking for. Obviously, this is going to be whatever you actually do. Okay. So what if it's a brother or sister calling? By the way, this changes. Sometimes we do contracts, sometimes we don't. We mix it up time to time to see what's working currently. We've done totally times with no contracts whatsoever. When I mean no contract, I mean no commitment. They're still signing a form with like a terms and conditions sort of form. But if they, but no like time commitment, that's fine. When they say contract, it's really what they mean is time commitment or money commitment. But there's also times we've only done 12-month memberships. Okay, so anyway, what if it's a brother or sister calling? So sometimes families may not speak English fluently, so they have one of their older children call for them. In that instance, make sure that a guardian is there on the first lesson. So I've had this happen a lot of times where it's like the 15-year-old daughter speaks English, calling for the 5-year-old because their parents only speak Spanish. So I'll have them translate, but make sure that child comes with them on the lesson or comes to the first appointment, so that way they can translate. All right. Anyway, some more verbiage here about contracts, but that covers the most of it. Hope this is really helpful. If you have any questions about how this works, you can reach me at matthew@wdojo.com. Reach out to me on Facebook, Matthew Brenner, Instagram at blackbeltbrenner1, and I'll happily answer any questions you might have. Make sure, like when we have people join our program, like employees, this is the first thing we have them memorize right away. It's like, okay, here's the phone script, memorize this. We'll practice it back and forth. We'll role play, and then we'll have them institute it after they role play. They feel comfortable, but they have to memorize it word for word. Not like, yeah, I got it sorta, or I kind of got the idea, or like I get the gist. No, word for word. We've changed one word in here multiple times that have made big differences. So the words are very, very specific, okay, and they're practiced and tried. So you memorize this exactly, because this is like the script. Once you memorize, first of all, it's not that long. It's like a page. Like most of this is like explanation. It's like a page and a half double spaced. Okay, so once you get this down, you'll be able to do this at table events, walk-ins. It's all the same conversations. Hope it's helpful. Catch you later. Bye.